Can your hobbies be profitable? Yes, they can. There is actually more to this video, but before we start, I would like to make a few disclaimers. One, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you want to watch those, you're going to have to go somewhere else. Second of all, it should be fun, what I'm going to teach you. We are taking a hobby and we're turning it into something that's profitable. Now, there might be things that involved in that you might not be familiar with, and they might be new or might be a little bit of a struggle, but it should be fun. This is something you should be passionate about, right? We're talking anything, not just particular hobbies, not just music or art or this or that, but anything you enjoy, you should be able to profit from this. And third thing is it's not going to be super easy, and it is going to take some time. In terms of, not time as in over the years you'll finally build up profit, but time as in you don't have to put time in, like take the time out of your hobby or add time onto your hobby to do this and to turn it into something that you can profit from and hopefully live off of. So the last thing is, I learned this from a man who actually practices what he preaches. He made his fortune teaching this method by doing the things that he preached, doing the methods that he taught. And it's actually been profitable to a couple of friends of mine. I might leave a link in the description if I want. They're still starting out, or one of them is, that I think might be interesting for a few of you. So he does parkour stuff. He's in the run for being the best parkour person in Australia. If it becomes a competitive sport, he could be in the competition for first place, which might be happening, but I digress. So I'm going to run you through the books, which is the way I learnt the best from this person. And there's 3 books, so we'll start with the first. So the first book in this trilogy is .com Secrets. Now, this book is, funnily enough, the first one you'll need to read, but if you're starting fresh, the last one you'll actually need to use. This goes into detail about how to create something called funnels. Now, funnels are essentially a way to get your customers and funnel them into buy a product or a service. And it looks sort of like a website, but it's a little bit different. Now, it looks kind of daunting. There's about 400 pages in this book, but it does have lots of pictures. So, as you can see here, big margins, reasonably big words, and a lot of pictures. So it's not as big as a read as you think. I find it quite entertaining, but also I do read a lot of non-fiction books and enjoy them. So you might not find it quite as enjoying, but I personally loved reading these books. They were quite captivating. So about these funnels, they go into detail about how to make them and also how to sell a product for a large profit while also providing a lot of value to the customer. So the basic premise of this is, if you think of a product, any product, and then you think of a price for that product, what you do is you multiply that price by 10 times, roughly. Then you go, well, how could I make this product 10 times more valuable? How can I give the customer that much more value to the product that it's worth them paying 10 times what they would normally pay? And it's a little bit tricky sometimes. It takes a little bit of thinking. But with this book, you can get there. And now Russell makes his money from selling software. And the software is software to make funnels. And it's not cheap. It's, I think, $200 a month. And you might go, well, there's no way I'm putting my faith in that. That's a lot of money to put into something that might not work. And what he actually says in his book is the first month is free. And if you don't make any money, what he encourages you to do is make a new account and keep trying using that 1 month free trial until you profit something. So the idea is that it's risk-free and you're not spending any money until you actually profit something back. And I think this is really nice because it means all you have to do is put in some time. You're not paying him anything. He doesn't have any incentive to keep you coming back unless you make money. So that is book number 1. And the next 2 books are probably more useful, but you do have to read this book first to sort of get an understanding of the other 2 books. which are more useful if you're starting out. So the second book in the series is called Expert Secrets, and looks like this. It's the blue book, also by Russell Brunson, as all of them are. And this one is very different to the first one. It doesn't talk so much about funnels or ClickFunnels, as is the name of his website and software. So Expert Secrets is actually on how to present yourself as a person and how to present your ideas in the most captivating way possible. So it talks about how you can categorize your ideas into either health, wealth, or relationships, which is pretty much just a way you can further go into detail about each thing and how they differ slightly. It's mostly just a building block for how to present yourself in the best way possible, and also how to present your ideas in the best way possible to captivate your audience. It does not go too much into social media and like YouTube videos and an online presence, although it does cover sort of presenting on a video call. The third book, which I'll come up to in a second, actually covers all the online stuff and how to build a presence, both through paid ads, but also like paid advertising, or also through organic outreach. And the third book is titled Traffic Secrets. So this is the green book. I really enjoy this one, probably my favorite or second favorite one. And this one sort of goes into your Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. So it's all that nitty gritty online stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I found this quite interesting. So it talks about the different types of software out there, or your social medias, and how they do have a different purpose to each other. So the way you advertise and present yourself on each platform is different. It also tells you where you should start, making an online presence, and how to do it, and also how to scale that up, so that you're not wasting all your time just posting and making information available to the public, right? Because that can take a lot of work. If you had to balance Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, everything else, it can take a lot of time. So it goes into a lot of detail about that. And this is probably for most people where I would recommend starting. If you really want to work on your personal skills a bit more, I would recommend Expert Secrets. Again, that's the second book on personal skills. But what most people need is to just start doing things. So once you've read through the books, I would read through them again and start with Traffic Secrets and follow it like a guide, because this is probably where you want to start. And that leads me on to a few bonus tips. So the bonus tips are just a few little things. They're neither here nor there. First of all, I would recommend reading through the book once. Scribble down notes, have a pen on you. You can just scribble in between the lines or along the borders, the margins. And that is a really good way to link your knowledge of this book to other books or videos or information that you've learned elsewhere. Second of all, once you've read it through once, I would recommend reading through again. It doesn't have to be in order, and then following it like a guide. So again, if you're starting out new and you're somewhat confident presenting, you don't need to be fantastic. I would recommend starting with Traffic Secrets. It's a really good place to start, especially if you're not too certain about everything else and you're still sorting things out first. I will start with Traffic Secrets and read through it like a guide. As soon as you find a piece of information that tells you what you need to do, put the book down, make a note of it, and go out into the world and complete that task if you can. Because this is the best way to do it. It is a guide, and I'm pretty sure he references this in his books, that you should come back and use it as a handbook. Hence why writing notes can also be really useful. If you come back to it, you can quickly recap. Second of all, some of the places you buy these books online can be very expensive. So I personally went to the bookstore to buy mine, and I got them for about $25 Aussie each. So I think that's about $17, $18 US, maybe a bit less. And this is a lot cheaper than where you can get them in other places. Some places charge $50 for them, for a single book, not for the trilogy, which is honestly outrageous, paying $150 for 3 books. So definitely have a poke around. Amazon's not too bad, I found, but also check out your local bookstore because they might be able to get it in for you cheaper than anywhere else. And that's sort of the bonuses. If you just read through the books, you can learn a whole lot from them. I really loved reading them, and I hope you just find that passion for reading these books because they're very insightful. And one more tip, if you do read it, if you're not sure and you're on the fence, just buy the first book. Because he'll reassure you, and I will as well, so you don't even have to spend the money on this, that you can do this with any hobby that you have at all. You don't need to have some particular hobby like music, which, you know, artists can make it really big, right? They sell. It doesn't need to be something like that. It can be anything that you're passionate about. And if you think hard enough, you take some time out of your day, you will be able to find a problem that people need solved, or people might want to improve the quality of their life. And so I think if you find that, you can make any hobby highly profitable. So if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. And I hate asking, but follow to keep up to date because, I mean, this is not the typical sort of content I do. I normally do videos on how to build a commune, like a community of people that you can live with. So if that's something of interest to you, please follow, subscribe, because it would really help, helps my motivation, and especially feedback if you want to learn anything on that topic of building a community, building a tribe, bringing people together. Please tell me about it, and I would love to do it. As a personal assistant of yours, I'll do better than any AI. I'll put in hours into each video, and I will personally feed this back to you in a digestible form. So hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later.